On November 7, 2023, FKA Docnor tweeted, "This was crazy," with a photo of Robert De Niro in the film Killers of the Flower Moon. The official account for Paramount Pictures responded, "You know he had to do it to him, sunglasses emoji." This is the Museum of Twitter, the show where we talk about the most important tweets in the history of Twitter.com. If you have seen the film Killers of the Flower Moon, or even vaguely know what it's about, you understand why this is one of the worst tweets ever put out by a corporate account, ever. Because it's one thing to be tone deaf by accident, it's another thing to be tone deaf about your own product. Because if you have not seen the film, or don't know the story of Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert De Niro's character is a man who sets up the murders of many Osage people in order to steal their land. He is an absolutely abhorrent human being who is unrepentant about killing people to steal their land and their oil rights. And there are a few things more inappropriate you could say about him than, "You know he had to do it to him." Because beyond the fact that using a casual slang phrase about him is inappropriate, what you are actually saying in that phrase is crazy. Obviously the social media person did not mean this, but what it reads like is, he had to do it to and being the Native Americans, which is despicable. And there are so many things you have to wonder about this tweet being tweeted. For one, this was not a tweet put out on Paramount Pictures' timeline normally. The person who was running the account for Paramount Pictures found this tweet from FKA Docnor and was like, "I want to reply to this. I'm going to do some sly marketing for this movie, and I'm going to reply to someone who posted a screenshot from it." And what they decided to do is say, you know, he had to do it to him. Now, I don't think that Paramount social media manager was trying to make a grand statement about the movie. I think they probably just didn't see the movie. And they were commenting on the fact that Robert De Niro looks silly in his outfit with his driving goggles. And he does. If this character was not a despicable human being who murdered lots of people to steal from them, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to comment on the outfit he wears when he drives his car. But he is that despicable person. So I think what this underscores is, beyond how unfortunate the specific choice of words was, is like, you can't approach marketing a movie like this the way that you would market like a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. It's a deeply serious 3-hour plus movie about one of the most heinous crime sagas in the 20th century in American history. It's a movie about a really dark stain on our history and the banality of the evil of the people who perpetrated it. I hardly am ever the serious police, but I do think you need some serious police enforcement when you are trying to market said movie. And yes, that means that you can't market it the way they would market another movie. There simply is no room for the official Paramount Pictures account to be tweeting memes about Killers of the Flower Moon. And the unfortunate thing is that this clearly affected people. Obviously, most people realized it was a dumb mistake, but Lily Gladstone, the lead actress of the film, reacted to it with a bunch of angry emojis. And I don't think that she thought that Paramount Pictures was saying something nefarious. I think that she was like, wow, you're not taking this seriously. We're allowing a film company to make a movie about our culture, about a tragedy that occurred to us, and you don't have the decency to take it seriously all the way through. And that really sucks. Because yeah, I think Mayan Trinidad was right when she says, the intern who wrote it clearly didn't watch the movie, he just thought De Niro was flexing for the badass vibes. That's what happened. Although I will say, and I always emphasize this whenever I cover a bad corporate tweet, unless the year is like 2011, an intern is not tweeting for a big corporation. Almost every quote tweet of this mentions an intern. And it's like, no, these are multi-billion-dollar corporations. They are not entrusting their public statements on a gigantic website to an intern. I genuinely don't understand how people still think that interns tweet for corporations. I also do think that JLJ made a good observation where he says, bro, what? This reeks of a white man using a phrase used in black circles inappropriately. Common L for these social media managers. Because yeah, you do have to stretch the definition of you know he had to do it to him in order to make it make sense, even in a meme sense. And using it in a reply to this tweet just feels like a person trying to seem cool. A quote tweet I did appreciate is Phantom quoted it with a screenshot of the drill tweet, which I previously covered, issuing correction on a previous post of mine regarding the terror group ISIL. You do not, under any circumstances, gotta hand it to them. Because yeah, man, you don't need to be doing memes about William King Hale. By the way, I really highly recommend this movie, and if you're like, Jake, it's over 3 hours long, it's so long. I would say if you can't sit still for 3+ hours in order to watch a masterpiece by an American master, that's a you problem. And it's definitely something to be ashamed of. But I digress. A reference to the people who did see the movie, which I appreciate, is Yaz Minsky posted a screenshot of Lily Gladstone in the movie saying, Lily Gladstone comes in, sits across from the social media intern. What was in that post you made? Which in itself is a little inappropriate because it is making a joke about some of the nefarious actions in the movie. But the target of it was the person who did misunderstand the movie, so I really don't know where I fell on it. People talk about media literacy this, media literacy that, and yes, there is a big media literacy problem. And I don't know how to solve it generally. But I think a thing we can solve is that if you're going to comment on a piece of media, you have to watch it. Like, that is the most basic level of media literacy. Have watched the media. And I say this as someone who is irreverent all the time, there are some things that you shouldn't be irreverent about. I think taking things too seriously is bad, but I think at the same time, taking nothing seriously is probably worse. And if there ever was a movie to take seriously, it would be this one. And besides, if you have to meme a character from Killers of the Flower Moon, make it Jesse Plemons' character. He's basically harmless. Follow me for a new tweet every day, and please consider joining my Patreon, patreon.com/Museum of Twitter, where you get to vote when I cover Unsubscriber Sundays, and you get a weekly bonus episode called Museum of Not Twitter.